Yeah. There we are. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call for a motion for the acceptance of the minutes of September 22nd, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Public forum for this evening.
No public forum.
No one? No one?
It's just Pat over there.
We have no one for public forum. We will move on to presentations for this evening. We have Superintendent, want to join me in doing?
Yep.
We'll just do it. Yeah, we'll go back down again.
The podium's not on, Vince? That's okay.
All right, we'll do it from our seat.
We have to get
We'll do it from our seat.
Set up from our seats.
So this evening, we have a presentation recognizing the technology staff here who's been working diligently to keep the entire district up and running. No easy task. I realize that everybody's been working hard and in the district and trying to keep us going. But exceptionally, you can take a look at the technology program. They're just the technology team. They just keep going and going and going. Trying to put some square pegs in round holes and getting it done. So we'd like to this evening to recognize that technology team, and we're going to bring them up, Superintendent.
So the first certificate of appreciation goes to John Barbiani for your commitment and dedication to the Ellenville Central School and for implementing technology in the district for our students during the pandemic crisis. John. Okay, the next elbow. Sarah Walter. Also, Sarah, for your commitment and dedication to our students and to the district for implementing technology and all the challenges during the pandemic crisis. Thank you, Sarah. And last but not least, Edwin Moses Aponte. So, Moses, for your fearless leadership, and keeping us all moving, your commitment and dedication to the Ellenville School District and implementing technology for our kids, and really keeping us on track here. Much appreciated. All right.
Again, Moses, Sarah, John, thank you on behalf of the Board of Education. Thanks for all you do and continue to do. Thank you very much.
You couldn't do it without them.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You don't have to say. You have to say. Thank you. Just in case we have technical difficulties. Okay.
Move on to reports for information correspondences. From myself, I have nothing for this evening. Board membership? Anybody? Nope. Then we'll move on to Superintendent Lisa Wiles.
So a few things related to the pandemic and our instructional program. Last week, we completed in-person instruction for Cohort A. Today began the first day for Cohort B. We had some glitches, but it's really nice to see students on the campus. We're moving forward. Things are going well, and we're handling every challenge that everybody has with a lot of grace, and things are going better than expected. One of the challenges we've had is implementing all of the requirements, not really challenges, but challenges across the county with regard to the Department of Health guidance, with regard to contact tracing, testing. We're all, as a county, working with each other well, collaboratively, trying to implement procedures and processes to make sure that we're all on the same page with regard to who needs to be tested, who tests positive. I would point you again, anybody, any board member or members of the public, to our website, where we have one area of the website dedicated to all kinds of reports with regard to Ulster County COVID dashboard. There's a new there's a new New York State school report card that gives you numbers by district and by school on positive cases, the number of tests and so forth. That's pretty interesting. Although there's been some controversy about the quality and the data, it's like anything else when you start collecting data. We're working through the glitches of it. New York State's required it. We're working through it, and you can find that. We'll put a link to that up on our website. There's also a toolkit I just want to bring to your attention. It's a really good flow chart for schools and for parents to follow through on what to do if your children are sick, when to get them tested. If parents or anyone has any questions, I would really encourage you to contact the principal of your building or any of the school nurses. I'm really proud of our staff, our teachers, our kids. You know, I think it's going really well. We see from other districts, it's almost a matter of not when, but if, you know, a classroom or a building or a group of classrooms will have to, you know, go full remote for a period of time. But we haven't had that situation yet. But it won't be a shocking incident if it does happen. It's happening all over, and we're just going to work through it. So that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Napoli.
Thank you. If you had a chance to look at my report, there is a picture of a possible chair for the new auditorium. They're building the model. They're shipping it to me, so I'll have it for everyone to take a look at. We looked at a couple different samples, and this is what we looked at, and we asked them to put together for us. It's not set in stone, so if we want to change it, we can, but it's what we came up with to kind of as a jump-off point. I also have a lot of financial numbers in my report. Specifically, I'm reporting on how much money we've collected on tax-wise. We're pretty much in par with what we've been collecting for the last couple of years. You'll notice that in October, it looks to be negative from what it was in September, but that has a lot to do with tax refunds due to mistakes or changes on people's assessments. So it looks like we're going backwards, but that will jump back up at the end of October. And then I also did a quick analysis based on and anticipated the 20% reduction in aid. While the state did change their mind, they reported out that they were not withholding any aid from us, but we know, and the superintendent talked about it at our last meeting, that on our September aid payments, they did withhold 20%. And I just have some details in there on what it might look like if they continue to follow suit. And then I also, while I'm excited about this, I don't know if anybody else will be other than facilities directors, but the state held off on mandating us to do lead testing right now. So they gave us until 2021 to actually complete that. If you remember a couple of years ago, I think it was probably 5 years ago, that we did lead testing in the schools. All of our places where we drink water from were fine, but they do require to do every 5 years. So they're giving us just another year to complete that. Thank you.
Thank you, Iris.
I have a question, yeah. So Vince, you said that the state said they did not withhold the 20%, but we see it that they did
Right, in the month of September.
in the month of September.
Right.
So is there any way to get clarification about that so that they will know that they did hold back 20%?
Sure, I'll try.
I
to
mean,
think
I
of-
don't understand how they can say they didn't and we say they did. That doesn't make any sense.
The
to
reason
me.
why they said they didn't is because they released some of the aid, but the aid that they released went to pay our TRS bill. So every year you get a big chunk of money in September. And the money that comes in September, a big chunk of that, like $2 million, whatever the piece is to pay and I don't know what that number is, $1.5 million, is to pay your debt to the TRS, which is the
Right.
Teachers Retirement System. So in essence, if they don't pay that money, they don't pay a state agency. So they withheld some of our money and they released some of it, but the money that was released went to the Teacher Retirement System to pay our bill. So they did hold some of it back, the numbers here, and they did release some of it. So I think that is the rationale for saying they didn't hold it back. They held a little bit of
Because it went to
it
the
back.
teacher retirement system? We'll discuss it another time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
confused.
The numbers-
I don't
the
know. It's
numbers
like
are
going to the
there.
bank and having that kind of discussion. Well, they said they did, and I said they didn't. So who did what?
Well, we scratched our head on that one too.
Correct.
I want to be assured that you're both clear about it so that
Oh, we're
we
clear.
don't, down the road, when things start to even out more, that they don't make claims that aren't so.
We have the numbers, Dr. Timms.
Right, yeah. and
Confirm the
I didn't
numbers.
put this together on my own. I work with Dr. Rick and our treasurer. We are watching this like a hawk. Every month we look at the numbers. And what happens is if we keep an eye on it for cash flow to make sure we won't have any cash flow issues
Right.
throughout the year or month to month. So we want to make sure that they are not withholding a lot of money because some school districts are running into financial problems,
Well, they're claiming they're
Cash
not
flow.
withholding at all.
but they
Right?
did.
So that's what I'm struggling with, Vince.
Me too.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Kelly White.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening. In your board reports this evening, there is an outline of events for the Ellenville P-Tech Academy. And just a reminder, we were approved for a $2.5 million grant last year to operate a P-Tech school, and that's the Pathways in Technology Early College High School program. So it's essentially a 6-year high school college program where at the conclusion of 6 years, the students graduate with their high school diploma as well as either an associate's degree or a certification in a field of either advanced manufacturing or network administration. So we did receive an extension since we were supposed to open this past September, but due to the current health crisis, that project had to be put on hold. But our goal is for this year is to conduct all the needed activities so that we can open our doors in September to our inaugural class, which would be 20 of this year's current 8th graders, hopefully. So throughout the year, there'll be more information. We will repost our announcement to the community just to remind everybody what P-Tech is and what it entails. We're going to have some open houses in either a virtual or in-person format, depending on the time of year in which they fall and what we're able to host. And also get the information out to the students to do some student open houses to generate interest. So there'll be more information coming out over the next couple of months and throughout the year regarding P-TECH. Additionally, tomorrow we're going to be submitting 2 of our grants. So we'll be submitting our title grants for our ESSA-funded programs. So this year the district was allocated roughly $750,000 over 5 title grants. We have the majority of that funding being put towards improving basic programs, which is for the salaries for our specialists, our reading specialists, our ENL teachers. And we also have reserves in there for homeless students, neglected students, and parent and family engagement. We also have money going towards $77,000 roughly going towards supporting effective instruction. So that'll be ongoing professional development opportunities for staff. For Title III, we have roughly $12,000 to support ENL instruction and our ENL teachers and teachers who teach ENL students. In Title IV, we have roughly $43,000, which goes towards well-rounded educational opportunities and safe and healthy students and effective use of technology. So we have some technology purchases as well as salaries for our student support staff. And lastly, because we are a rural school, we have Title V money, about $28,000, which can be used to support other activities from the other title grants, and a portion of that's also going to be going towards salaries for our student support staff. Tomorrow, we're also submitting our Title I School Improvement Grant. We're eligible to this for this grant based on being identified as a targeted support district. The middle school is a targeted support school. So we have roughly $100,000 in different activities, funding, $100,000 for funding of different activities that needs to be completed. So we're going to be putting out a survey in the coming weeks for parents, staff, and students to get some feedback regarding school climate. And we'll be using the results of that survey to develop district and building level improvement plans.
Thank you. John?
Just a question for either Lisa or Kelly. You know how the state requires us to keep track of cohorts through graduation? Will the P-TECH have to follow the same format, and will that help us or hurt us? Or
That was a question actually that had come up. I was reviewing notes from one of the curriculum committee meetings last year that said that how does that work since they're not four-year graduates. So next time I meet with Ulster BOCES, I'll ask how that impacts the cohort. And I think what I believe what I've heard is that those students are not counted as part of the like the incoming freshman cohort. They're counted as a separate group.
yeah, when they go to Ulster and they get their high school and their associates, it should count for us.
They will get a high school diploma for sure. But I don't know I don't know what the count is, but we'll find out and get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. White. We'll move on for personnel resolutions this evening under 6.1, leave of absence. Upon recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Jolene Younger's request for an unpaid leave of absence be granted effective October 1, 2020 through October 30, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.2, reclassification. Upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be resolved the following salary reclassifications, graduate credits and degrees as stipulated in ETA contract be approved and prorated effective 10/1/20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.3, uncertified substitute teacher. Upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Jeanette Tuzzolino be appointed uncertified substitute teacher at a rate of $95 per day work for the 2021 school year.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Education resolution, 7.1. Resolve the attached list of student IEPs.
The list is presented.
Second.
Move the list, seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Construction resolution.
Motion move 8.1 and 8.2.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Under other, 9.1, intermunicipal agreement.
Motion to move 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, and 9.6 and 7. Keeps going. 9.8, 9.9.
Through 9:10, you mean?
I got the long version, I apologize. And 9.10.
Second.
I'd like to make a motion to move out 9.5.
There's a motion and second on the floor to move 9.1 through 9.10. We have a motion to amend that to pull out 9.5. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second for that. So we will pull out 9.5. I'll vote on the original motion, 9.1 through 9.10 with the exception of 9.5. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to the second resolution, 9.5, school logo. Resolved that the Board of Education adopt the school logo as presented. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for discussion
Second.
purposes.
Motion for discussion purposes and a second. Discussion. No one. All those in favor? I'll do a roll call vote or
Wait,
we're good?
wait.
Hold
You're
on.
going too fast for me. I have something to say.
Okay.
I am fairly okay with this. I like the concept of it. I think the lettering should be a little bit more stand out a little bit more, something similar to what was on our original. That's my own, and the colors, of course, once again, are not correct, but we just need the correct name of the colors, and we can carry that out. So,
Can't hear.
if we
Oh,
approve
Iris,
of this,
people, they can't hear you over there.
if we approve of this, does it make room, does it leave room for us to tweak it?
No,
So we have to tweak it first and then approve?
no, this is the logo.
It's
and
now or
this is what
never?
we're voting. This
Yeah.
is what we're voting on.
Yeah.
This is what we
With
presented.
the
and
exception of the colors. The
Exception
colors
of the
would be our
colors.
colors.
This is as presented. Any other discussion on this? Roll call. Iris?
I am not satisfied with the lettering, so if we can never change it because this is the final decision, then I can't go along with it.
Okay, that's a no. Wayne?
No.
Jody?
No.
John?
No.
Willie?
No.
Lisa?
No.
And I'm a no. Motion fails.
I have a question.
Yes.
So this was designed by someone else. Can we use this design and tweak it ourselves? Or it's his design and he's got it?
We will talk to our attorney and see what the copyright,
It's not copyright,
it's
and we
our-
paid for the work,
paid
so
for
we'll
work,
have
so
to
it's
double
ours.
check on
we'll
it.
just double check on it. We'll get back to you. What's that?
It's our intellectual.
Yeah,
We'll check.
we will check, but we hired him to do work for us. We own that. But we'll double check that. I've been through this before, but we'll double check just to be sure.
I mean, I could live with it if it's tweaked, but, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to be heard on this? Not, the motion failed. Move on. Next meeting date, mark your calendars, October 27th. Anybody
done?
want to see anything on the next agenda? No? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed, no one? We are adjourned. Mics are still live.
Okay.